Namaskar friends, today we'll discuss about another behavioral assessment scale which is called Basic MR. So this is Basic MR, and what is the full form of Basic MR? Behavioral Assessment Scale for Indian Children having mental retardation. Now it is called intellectual disability. So friends, this scale is developed by NIMH, which is now called NIPIT. This has two parts, Part A and Part B. Part A talks about skill behavior, okay, and Part B talks about problematic behavior. So let us first discuss about Part A behavior. Now in Part A, there are 7 domains. As you can see on the screen, these 7 domains are motor, activity of daily living. Second is language. Third is reading. Then writing. Then number time, डोमेस्टिक सोशल एंड प्री वोकेशनल मनी. MDPS में आपने देखा था कितने डोमेन्स थे? यस, 18 डोमेन्स. और हर डोमेन में कितने आइटम थे? 20 आइटम्स, राइट? In this basic MR, there are 7 domains, and in each domain there are 40 items, and which are all written in observable and measurable terms. So, and they're also arranged in the increasing order of difficulty, meaning thereby पहले जो आसान काम है वो, और उसके बाद difficult काम, from simple to complex and from easy to difficult. And इसके साथ साथ जैसे कि हमने MDPS में देखा था कि हमारे पास ABAK था. ABAK का था Adaptive Behavior Assessment Kit, ओके. सो वो हमने बनाई थी. उसी तरह से इसमें भी बेसिक MR में भी लिस्ट ऑफ द मटेरियल जो रिक्वायर्ड है वो हमें दिया गया है, ओके. दिस इज लिस्टेड. जो लिस्ट हर एक डोमेन का जो है, जैसे मोटर एक्टिविटी का एब्रीवेटेड फॉर्म इसमें लिखा हुआ है MO, इसी तरह लैंग्वेज का L, तो लाइक एब्रीवेटेड फॉर्म करके और उसके साथ साथ उसमें लिखा हुआ है, से फॉर एग्जांपल M1 या M6. तो M6 में क्या आइटम है? मान लीजिए M6 का आइटम है इन द स्केल कि यूज थंब एंड इंडेक्स फिंगर टू होल्ड द ऑब्जेक्ट्स. तो अब इसके लिए हमें कोई ऑब्जेक्ट्स तो चाहिए होंगे ना, तो वो ऑब्जेक्ट्स वो किट में हमें डालने हैं. तो हमें लिस्ट दी गई है पर किट नहीं दी गई. सो दैट्स द एडवांटेज इन दिस स्केल, दैट वी हैव अ list of the material which is required for each domain. So that is there. And then what you have to do, you have to know the scale to familiarize yourself so that you can ask questions from your child who's sitting in front of you. So I would suggest go through the scale and familiarize yourself with all the items, the meaning of the items. What does it mean? Okay. And कैसे आप बच्चे को टेस्ट करोगे, असेस कैसे करोगे? ऑब्वियसली यू विल यूज ऑब्जर्वेशन टेक्निक. दैट इज ऑलवेज बेटर देन इंटरव्यू. पर कई बार हमें क्वेश्चन पूछने भी पड़ते हैं, कभी पेरेंट्स से या टीचर से, वो आप कर सकते हो, बट ऑब्जर्वेशन इज द बेस्ट. ऑब्जर्व योर सेल्फ ताकि आप उसकी करेक्ट असेसमेंट कर सकें, ओके. और ये भी नहीं है कि हमें एक जो पूरा असेसमेंट है एक ही दिन में करना है, एक डोमेन पूरा करना है. जस्ट गो एज पर द चाइल्ड मूड एंड इंटरेस्ट एंड हिज मोटिवेशन, बट सी टू इट दैट यू रिकॉर्ड प्रॉपरली, और रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए हम बेसिक MR में एक और जो इसमें हेल्प हमें दी गई है, रिकॉर्ड बुकलेट. तो रिकॉर्ड बुकलेट में हम सारा रिकॉर्ड करते हैं बच्चे का असेसमेंट, ओके. एंड दीज टू यू कैन, एज आई सेड, अवेलेबल फ्रॉम NIPIT नाउ. So record all the behavior, how the child is performing on each item, record there. Now the question is, how do we record it? तो ये रिकॉर्ड बुकलेट तो है, पर अब रिकॉर्ड कैसे करना है? हम MDPS में कैसे रिकॉर्ड कर रहे थे उसकी परफॉर्मेंस को? Yes or no, right? If the child could do, we were saying yes, and we were marking it with blue. Remember? And if the child couldn't do, we were marking it red, sorry. So that is what we were doing. But in basic MR, it is little different. In MDPS, there was no scope for the prompts. कई बार ऐसे होता था कि बच्चे को जरा सा हिंट दे दो तो बच्चा वो आइटम कर पा रहा था, तो वो स्कोप एमडीपीएस में नहीं था। तो बेसिक एमआर में ये स्कोप डाला गया है कि अगर बच्चा पीपी से विच इज कॉल्ड मैनुअल प्रॉम्प्ट या फिजिकल प्रॉम्प्ट, और अगर आपका वर्बल प्रॉम्प्ट जिसको हम वीपी पे कहते हैं, और अगर आपका गेस्चरल प्रॉम्प्ट जिसको कि हम जीपी कहते हैं, अगर किसी भी तरह से बच्चा आपका वो जो आइटम जो आप असेस कर रहे हो वो कर पाता है, तो वी कैन record his performance like that. So this is how we will record it. So there are how many levels in this? There are 6 levels of recording the performance of the child. So level 1 is independent. If the child is doing independent, we will give score rather than color coding the way we were doing in MDPS. I'm comparing the two scales so that you can understand better. So we are giving marks because what we thought, as regular children, typical children in their school, they get report card that they got 60% marks or they get 40% marks. Our children also should get marks. So we started giving scoring to these levels. So if the child is doing independently, we give score of 5. Okay. सो दूसरा जो लेवल है वो क्या है, स्कोर 4. सो इफ ही डज द बिहेवियर बाय क्लूइंग, ओके, और अगर किसी भी तरह के आप वर्बल हिंट्स दे रहे हो बच्चे को और बच्चा उस व्यवहार को कर पा रहा है, तो आप उसको स्कोर कौन सा देंगे, 4. एंड नंबर 3 लेवल इज वर्बल प्रॉम्प्टिंग, which is called, the child is performing the item only after you give the verbal prompting, which is some kind of verbal statement you are saying. Like say for example, अगर आप हैंकी फोल्ड करवा रहे हो तो आप उसको बोलोगे, okay, first fold the right part, half of it, and then another half, like that. So you're giving verbal statement, okay? And the next level is physical prompting. And the score given for physical prompting is 2. So this means you're manually helping the child. You're physically helping the child. अगर एक बच्चा ठीक परफॉर्मेंस करेक्ट परफॉर्मेंस नहीं दे रहा है, तो आप उसका हाथ पकड़ के आप उसको करेक्ट रिस्पॉन्स पर ले जा सकते हो. So that is what, because as I said, our aim is to give the successful experience to the child. So whatever assistance we need to give, we should give to help him perform successfully. But धीरे धीरे जो भी हम असिस्टेंस देते हैं उसको हम फेड करते रहते हैं, because the ultimate aim is the child should do it independently. Okay, and then the next level is totally dependent. कहने का मतलब कि the child doesn't perform the listed behavior at all. He's totally dependent. So number 1 score is given for totally dependent. And the next is not applicable. And the score given for not applicable is 0. Now what are those items which are not applicable? अब कुछ आइटम्स ऐसे हैं कि बच्चा कर ही नहीं पाएगा. Say for example, if a child is having CP, he's not able to hold, the thing in his hand. So obviously the items, which are required to hold some things, he will not be able to do it. So so those are the items we will say not applicable because of his handicap, either sensory handicap or physical handicap. Okay. So I think you have understood. So instead of saying as against MDPS, where we used to write A and B and we used to color code it red and blue, here we give scores. So we give scores like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. So that is about basic MR. Now, the kind of profile we were getting in basic MR, you remember? The square ones, red and blue. But here in basic MR, as you can see on the screen, this is the profile you will get, which is filled with 5, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, and all that. Okay? Now, here of all the items, now you will pick up the goals. Now, which are the goals you will pick up? Either, a person who's doing it physically, he's doing the behavior with the physical prompt, you would like to move him to verbal prompt, maybe, you know or sometimes you want the child to do the behavior independently. So it is up to you what is right now important for the child. As we discussed, the factors we consider while selecting the goals. So keep those factors in mind. So on the basis of that you will pick up 4 goals. So ये आपके ऊपर है कि आप 3 को 5 पे लेके जाना चाहते हो, या 4 को 5 पे लेके जाना चाहते हो, और या अभी 1 को 2 पे लेके जाना चाहते हो. तो इट इज ऑल चाइल्ड स्पेसिफिक. It is according to the particular child, his needs and his so many other factors. So this is all about basic MR. Now the part B of basic MR is talking about problem behavior. Now part B consists of 10 domains. Now which are those domains? As you can see on the screen, first is violent and disruptive behavior. Second is temper tantrums. Third is misbehave with others. Fourth is self-injurious behaviors. Fifth is repetitive behaviors. Sixth is odd behavior. And seven is hyperactivity. Eighth is rebellious behavior. Ninth is antisocial behavior. And 10th is fears. नाउ इन सब डोमेन्स में जो है आइटम्स जो है बराबर आइटम्स नहीं है. जैसे पहली कैटेगरी में वायलेंट एंड डिसप्टिव बिहेवियर में 16 आइटम्स आते हैं, टेम्पर टेंट्रम्स में 4 आइटम्स है, मिसबिहेव्स विद अदर में 7 आइटम्स है, सेल्फ इंजूरियस बिहेवियर में 10 आइटम्स है, रिपेटिटिव बिहेवियर में 8 आइटम्स है, ऑड बिहेवियर में जो है 8 आइटम्स है, हाइपर एक्टिविटी में 3 आइटम्स है, रेबिलियस बिहेवियर में 6 आइटम्स है, एंटी सोशल में 9 आइटम्स है, और फियर्स में 4 आइटम्स है. तो टोटल मिला के ये आइटम्स कितने हो गए? 75. इसकी जो स्कोरिंग होती है वो होती है नेवर, ओकेजनली एंड फ्रिक्वेंटली. इफ द बिहेवियर इज नेवर हैपनिंग यू स्कोर 0. If it is happening occasionally, you give score of 1. And if it is happening frequently, you give a score of 2. And on the basis of priority, you pick up a problem behavior and you write a management plan. Okay? I think you've understood it. Now, another scope in basic MR is you have a scope of report card. So, report card, as you can see on the screen, the first page is talking about the identification data, information for the parents, instructions for the parents, and their signatures. Can you see on the screen? Yeah. And the other page talks about the marks obtained in each area, in the skill behavior also and in the problem behavior also. Can you see on the screen? This child, is a hypothetical case we have taken. You can see the score, this child has, under motor skills, he has scored 179. This was the baseline score when the child came to you. So the current level was this. And in the first quarter, the score went up to 100. Can you see that? And in the second quarter, the score was 140. And on the third annual assessment, the score went up to 144. So you can see the child is continuously progressing. So this is how all the domains are filled with numbers. And then you calculate the percentage also. So, and on the other side, you can see there is a problem behavior. So there also you give the scoring. What was the baseline score? The child was having 0, so it was never happening, but wherever it was happening. Annual assessment, self-injurious behavior, you can see it was never happening, But repetitive behavior, it was 2 and it was brought up to 1 in the annual assessment. So it was happening occasionally now. So that means there was an improvement in the child's case. So this is how you can see the report of the child in a year, what he was when he came in both this areas, skill as well as problem area. And then there is also a scope for graphic profile. You can see the child is making improvement. At a glance, you can see, is he making a progress or is he deteriorating? And then we also have the scores, maximum scores written down in a table. At the bottom, you can see which can depict the child's, at a glance, the progress of the child. How much score the child has achieved in skill behavior, how much score the child has achieved in problem behavior. So this is how the basic MR works. So I think it's very easy. And then you also have noticed that some of the things which were not there in MDPS, they are listed in basic MR. Thank you.